I'm salty about that. Like, this guy went to a garage sale and found the first appearance of Batman. It's a $10,000 book, but in this condition, it's a $10,000 book. Still,
whoa,
this is like some shit the dog like chewed up, and it's still worth 10 grand.
Well-loved comic, evidently.
Wow.
Because people post like, "Oh, it's worth $2 million." No. The pristine copies are worth $2 million, but still $10,000. I mean, that ain't fucking change in your pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's still a lot of money. And this guy just goes to a garage sale and finds it.
Aww.
I mean,
go to
why can't I find that?
Probably
all I find are the same old '90s comics.
It's about like that guy who found all those old Superman comics in his wall. Did you ever hear about that? And then him and his wife got in a divorce.
And she took them?
No, she ripped the cover of one of them. That was the thing. But yeah, well, I don't think that's what the divorce was about. But.
Oh. Even without the cover, it's still worth money.
Yeah, but it was like
you tell them what they had. I mean, I might buy it and then say, "Hey, look, I just bought this, but let me split it with you because what you really have is this."
He probably bought this for $1. How much did he pay for it? Does he say? No.
It did not say. No.
It depends on who I was buying it from, Grums. That's the thing. Like if I was buying it from like their stupid kids of like this is their grandfathers and they don't care and have no care for any of the stuff that he has there and whatever, I'd be like whatever. But if it was like clearly, somebody who, they had an attachment to this stuff, or maybe some old lady who's selling her husband's stuff, she has no idea what she has, then yes.
I can tell you right now, they didn't know what they have. They didn't know what they have because if they did know, this wouldn't have been in a fucking garage sale. It would have been on heritage auctions.
Correct.
And that's where all of the rich people go and buy. Like you can get regular, like you don't have to be rich to shop in there. I'm not rich and I go and look at the auctions, but what is on there are like books that are worth like millions of dollars. You'll go and see like a 9 point something of Amazing Fantasy 15 on there. All of the people that want to like sell expensive shit, put it on heritage auctions. That's kind of where all of the big players go. And that's where this book would have been, or it would have been on Comic Connect or something like that. It would have been in an auction. This book would have been auctioned. And that's probably where it's going to be because the people posting this are heritage auction graders, what the name is. So this will probably be on heritage auctions, and it's probably going to make $10,000 to $20,000 for whoever bought this. Easy, because there's not many of these, man. They don't exist. So, damn, I wish I could find that.
I wish I hadn't have I wish my dad hadn't have sold off some of my older toys. Like I had the Teenage Mutant Ninja, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sewer with the van, with all the figures. I had all the turtles. I had Splinter. I had Shredder. I had Krang. I had
those aren't worth that much unless they're in the card.
Yeah,
they need to be packaged.
Basically,
still worth like 10 or $20, but if you take them out of the package, they're not worth that much.
The type of shit that's worth anything from our childhoods or within like the last 30, 40 years,
they need to be packaged.
Sell. Well, first of all, it needs to be packaged, and it has to be stuff that didn't sell. In fact, earlier I was on a stream talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie from 1993. There's a good example of those toys are actually a little bit harder and more expensive to come by than some other toys like Ninja Turtles and stuff because nobody bought them. Right. So they ended up in like, like liquidator stores and all that kind of stuff. And then people just, didn't know what to do with them. So they got tossed. So now the value on them is way like Dune figures from the 84 film are worth a lot compared to like Star Wars and shit in some cases. Because
Power Rangers, before Power Rangers came here and they packaged them appropriately, they actually tried to bring the Megazords over here. And but they didn't have the show attached to it, so they didn't sell. Those are actually worth a lot of money because no one bought them, like Tom was saying.
But
hold on a second. Low Rent Dad here, it's still in shit condition. The difference here with this book is this is a book from 1945, probably. Yeah. I don't know exactly the year. Actually, no, I take that back. 1939.
Yeah, I was going to say 39. I was going to say.
I can't see it because it's not blown up. It's before the war. So books from the golden age, you have to remember this book came out before the paper shortage and before they were sending all the paper to the war effort. So the fact that these books even exist is a miracle in itself because it was considered extremely patriotic to recycle your shit to help the war effort. So this is somebody that didn't go, that kind of went against the grain.
And
Yeah.
people didn't really save stuff back then. And like I said, this
they
one
didn't
looks like it
save
was
things
well
either.
loved. Like this must have been some kids at some point who read it a million times. Look at it.
So even a garbage piece of shit looking book like this, which somebody asked me what grade they think this is, it's a 0.5, 0.5. And a 0.5 of this book, because it's a book that there's probably only 500 to 1,000 copies of in existence, is still going to fetch you $10,000 to $20,000.
That's insane.
So
Yeah, and as you go
rarity
along, yeah.
is the key to books.
Yep.
This is why books like the first appearance of Miles Morales aren't going to be worth shit, because there's hundreds of thousands of copies of it.
Right. And this is where we've talked about before, like basically you can kind of pinpoint it back to the era of like the death of Superman, the multi-covers, when they just kind of like, you got so many copies of those things. People thought they were going to be able to, bank on them to put their kids through college. And then they realized they aren't even worth what they paid for them to begin with anymore, because the market's so flooded with them. Like I went to a rummage sale one time. I don't remember if I told you this. And this guy who used to own a comic shop, he was selling a bunch of stuff. So I bought like the Daredevil Elektra run where it was like
Those are still worth money, but you're not gonna,
he had some
you're not
that
going to
were worth
put your
money.
kids through college.
But my
with them.
point was, as I was getting going, is this: as I was checking out with the guy, I spent like $10-15 on. I got some pretty good deals on some books. He was literally giving away, still in the bag, the Death of Superman, the white and black ones, because he had so many of them. Right? He's like, I got boxes of the bastards.
Yeah.
Right?
They thought they were going to be able to put their kids through college.
That's what I'm saying. So like, they're
Yeah.
not worth diddly shit. He's like, they're literally worth pennies at this point, because I have so many people have so many. They're not really worth anything still packaged or anything like that.
If you're
Because they
looking,
printed
if you're
so
looking for
many.
things that are worth stuff, it's the Golden Age and the Silver Age.
Exactly.
That's really where it's at. Anything after that, I mean, some of those books.
Well, the
are still
50s,
worth
60s,
okay,
mom
but-
still threw them away and shit, right? But yeah.
Yeah. Well, no one was thinking about collecting, and kids were rough on them, and it's just,
I was gonna
it's
say,
different now.
I kick myself every day because my parents threw out a bunch of my Pokemon cards when I was younger, and they threw out. I used to have every single Transformers Beast Wars toy, and my dad threw them out. Can you imagine if I had those today?
Oh,
Oh,
it was like
man.
my dad.
God damn.
My dad sold all my Lego at a garage sale, and I had a pirate ship that we probably bought for like $30-40. That was now it's like worth $2-3 grand now.
Yeah,
But see, that's the thing that I was going to ask you. You know how you were saying about like, I mentioned the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff, and you said if they were in their packaging or whatever, they'd be worth a lot, but outside their packaging, they wouldn't be. I would think though that because there's limited numbers of them now, like how many of the original sewers do you reckon there actually are left from the 80s?
The sewer sets, not so much, but like the turtles, they're so, and you got to understand, Rhino, they produce
Without
those
the
in
box,
such
Rhino, do you have the
abundance.
box?
Yeah. Like
No,
you
I
have
don't-
all the
box.
pieces and
I
This is
don't
what
shit.
even
you're-
have it anymore.
This is what you got to understand. Like, if people want the boxes, so the real,
Yeah.
you're not going to get that much money unless you have the cards and the
Yeah.
boxes, especially for those play sets.
And all the pieces. That's the other
Yeah,
important
you need
thing.
all the pieces. you
And
need
like
the
with
box.
the turtle figures, like they mass produce those, so many of them, that the only original turtle figures that are really worth anything are the ones with the rubber heads. That's it.
Mm.
If you can get your hands on those because they are so rare, because they were the first run, and then after that first run they started doing them with the hard plastic heads. But it's hard to find those because the rubber starts to shrink over time, so like there's not very many of them left in existence. That's why the only reason they're worth anything. So if you have any of the rubber-headed Ninja Turtles, they're actually worth something, but other than that, no, they're not really worth
Yeah,
all that
okay.
much. Because
God, I
they were
wish I
such
still
an
had my fucking
abundance
toys and
that,
stuff.
yeah.
The first 10.
You'll pay more
the,
for Michelangelo's nunchucks than you will the figures.
the
That's the thing, right? Like the accessories and stuff.
The
Yeah.
10 backs, if you have them in the cards, are, but they have to be in the card and they have to be very nice condition. Like if it's all mangled up, it's not really worth anything.
I also want to point out that Tom just confirmed that he's a racist because he said white and black instead of black and white.
It's true.
So he put white before black. So
White power,
I
motherfucker.
kind of thought so.
That's it. Uh,
Oh, Grums, you got to get out of here.
Yeah, I got a hard stop at 9 p.m. But thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun, and I
It's good
wish I
seeing
had
you
a
again.
chance to drink more. So get in those super chats.
I'll
All
talk
right,
to you more,
everybody.
Grums, about getting the thing going.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Oh man,
Yeah.
we had such a good convo. Yeah, it's gonna be great. All right, take care,
later,
everyone.
bro.
See you, brother.
Bye.
See you.